Live Soccer is back with some new updates and a new look. Makes it even easier to get information on the latest scores that are going on out there with all the soccer games in the world. Quick launch right into today's games, showing us the different games that are going on by country, so we can view those games, some countries having more games going on than others. If we tap on one of those, we can see the scores and information about that particular game. I can also add it to my games, so if I want a quick launch, I can view that right there. And of course, it brings those games and saves them there so that we can view those scores later. So here's our entire list of games going on today. We can also view by country. So if we wanted to go and view games that are going on in different countries, we can just click and view only that country, which makes it easier, especially if it's a busy game day with lots of games going on. It also shows games for the next season here. So we even have the France Super Cup information, so we can click on any of these, and if there isn't any information, we won't see any, but most of them do have information. We can also add those to our games as well, making it easy to get back to that information. So clicking on my games right here, it is going to load in the game data for the games that we wished to have readily available. So it's going out and pulling out that data right now to display it to us. We can also click clear, and it will clear all of those games out of the system. I've noticed that it does take a little bit of time depending on the day. Probably lots of people accessing games at once makes it take a little bit of time to gather up that game data. Under standings, we can go and view standings information by country, so we could come in and take a look at, let's say, France, for example, and view the standings table for France and see how they are doing and compare them to other countries as well. There we go. Now our game data is loaded up. So we have those saved games that we've saved here in this section. There's also a news section, which is really nice, that the application actually brings in news and headlines now and displays them from within the application. I've also noticed that sometimes this section does take a little bit longer to open up. So we're seeing different headlines with the dates, and we can read more information on the web if it is a news headline that we would like to see. The search function allows us to search from within the app game data. So should we want to search for an individual team by country or player, we can do that and get that game data by search. So whether you want to view just the latest scores, view the information on the country that you care most about, or just see standings, Live Soccer can help you with that. So get Live Soccer in the App Store today.